topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Mindset Marketing Mastery, the show that brings you the top speakers in the marketing and video industry. With your host, Marie Mason.
Oh, I just love that, Pete.
I do too. And you know what else I love? I love the countdown. I think it makes it exciting, you know?
It does.
Ooh, it's coming. Ooh.
Yeah, it makes it exciting. It gives it little flair. And the funny thing is, we're talking all about videos today.
That is right. We're talking about the visual. Well, the visual and the audio goes together.
Right.
Together.
Hey, sound, you got to have sound with the video, let me tell you. Now, there used to be those movies. They were the kind that they were the silent movies. I guess they were called silent movies, the slapstick kind. You know, and I can't remember. They used to be really famous, like black and white ones, and they just did
Charlie
the words.
Chaplin. Well, talkies.
Yes,
Well, talkies were when it started. You know, the first talkie was Walt Disney Steamboat Willie.
Really? I did not know that.
I think my info is correct. Yeah. Steamboat Willie whistling.
Hey,
anyway.
it still had sound.
Anyway.
No, that's awesome. No, I was just thinking that videos have been around for a long, long time because let's face it, stories and video sell, right? Because they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And we have a great topic today, which is going to be in the show tonight. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready to jump in. Are you?
Let's jump. Hold my nose and jump.
And we might just go be swimming uphill later. I don't know, or swimming upstream, I think is a better way of putting it. But anyway.
Upstream, downstream.
Either way, any stream works.
Stream.
Well, right now it's a live stream. Very good. I like that one. But anyway, welcome back to the Marketing Mindset Mastery Radio Show with your host, Marie Mason, and my lovely and talented co-host, Cheryl Bernstein. And basically tonight, oh my gosh, we are going to do everything video. So the whole talk is about videos.
Yeah.
And specifically growing your business with videos. Because that's really becoming a hot thing right now. I mean, I've noticed the trend since we can't really meet in person since March of 2020. So this last year, it's been even more important for us to have a presence with video presence online. Otherwise, how are we going to get noticed? You know, it's kind of like our commercial break, almost, so to speak. So that is why we are bringing all this wonderful information to you. We don't have a guest this week. It's the Cheryl and Marie's show tonight.
We are the guests. We're each other's guest.
Pretty much. We're interviewing each other tonight.
We are guests.
Put our something to the test. What is that word? I always forget.
Put our something to the test. I don't know.
I know it's something. I know it's got to be something.
We are guests. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll fill in the blank.
I don't know.
I bet you the kids that are listening to the show probably could tell you right off the bat what it is. And anyway, I might Google that during the break. Anyway, I know it's something like put our service. I think it's what it is to the test, but I could be wrong on that one. So anyway, moving right along.
Service. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin around your neck, Sherry, and we'll provide the rest. Du jour, hot hors d'oeuvres, why we only live to serve. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
And right now I don't know what another good word is to substitute that. I'm having a blank this evening.
Well, it fits what we're doing and all of it.
Yeah, it is hilarious. But I think it's fun. And I love your singing voice, by the way. No wonder you did this. So I love it. So hopefully you'll go back to it soon. Hopefully you can come back to that at some point. But yeah, Disney, I think, is starting to release more stuff out there, I think, into the public soon. So we'll be getting some new movies. I heard rumors.
Yes.
So that's
awesome. All coming back.
Yeah, it's all coming back now. What's that song? It's all coming back to me now. Anyway, you never know what you're going to hear on live radio. But anyway, I'm sure Rebel's probably getting a kick right now.
All right, ladies.
She's like, wanting to crack the whip. But anyway, let's move it right along. So anyway, don't forget that y'all need to remember we still have that shop. And we have tons of merchandise in there. And
We
so
do.
go check out the t-shirts and the mugs and all the cool things, because you never know what kind of holidays or what else is out there. Cheryl, do you have any ideas? It's birthdays, holidays.
Well, birthdays, Mother's Day is coming up, Father's Day is coming up,
Yep.
July 4th. There's all kinds of things. And there are so many things for you to check out. I love to shop online and look
Me
and see.
too.
And we have, you want to know what we have? We have mugs, we have t-shirts, tanks, hats,
We have pet
and
beds. We have
pet
pet beds.
beds.
So if you have a pet that you like to give them a little something special, they're not that expensive either. All of our stuff is pretty reasonable too. But yeah, we have hoodies,
Backpacks, hoodies. I think there's water
tanks,
bottles.
tops.
Are
Yep.
there water bottles?
There's a water bottle,
So many
coffee
things.
mugs. Yeah, coffee travel mugs.
So all
Yep.
you have to do to check it out is go to this https:// don't even need that part, libertyvirtualsolutions.com/shop. Once again, Liberty
That's all, folks.
Virtual. Let me say in the clear.
Okay.
libertyvirtualsolutions.com/shop. And you can check out everything. The prices are so reasonable. Give yourself a little present. You know, it's so fun to get something real in the mail. Everything we do is virtual, which I think is terrific, makes it easy. But it is fun to get a gift in the mail. Send it to somebody that you care about. Send it to a client. Send it to yourself. Fun
Yep.
to get something.
And it's nice to get something that's unique, that's not every day out there. So this is kind of a new shop. And the good thing is it supports our show. So keeping our show on the air is what
Keep our show on the air.
Yeah, it's all about, giving
It's like a
you guys.
telethon.
It is. We're doing a telethon lately, but it's more of helping us to give you good quality shows. Oh, I have a funny comment from one of our audience listeners that I found rather sweet and amusing at the same time. Cheryl, I have to share it with
Okay.
you.
All right.
She actually thought it was a Christian station, Christian radio talk show. I was like,
Oh,
Lord, I was like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of that, because we haven't had but one person maybe talk about some basic, and he wasn't even Christian, but some basic values, some biblical values. But I told her, I says, well, I am a Christian, and I don't know if you are, but I am, and so some of my values may come across in the show, but at the same time, we're not specifically tied down to any religious. It's more of a business focus, but it is at the same time. I mean, everything we do is centered around helping people grow their business during uncertain times. So I wanted that clarity in there. But at the same time, it's like we address issues like personal, like, what is it called?
well, we talked about your health and
Yes.
immunity, your immune system, how to be strong, because you have to be healthy in order to do
Build a
what
business.
you do, to build
Yeah.
a business, to serve your clients, to create, to be present. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
be healthy, and it's a full scope of what you need to build a business and be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Being an entrepreneur, one of my clients said to me, being an entrepreneur is not for sissies.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
not for the faint of heart. It is not. I
No, not
agree.
for the faint of heart.
You really have to have a determination and the willingness to kind of go with the flow and make sure that you kind of tweak where you need to tweak and ebb and flow, and just kind of like the waves roll in and the waves roll back out. You kind of got to go with that kind of wave, and just kind of it's there's so many moving parts. But the good thing is you got support. I mean, even the Marketing Mindset Mastery Radio Show will give you plenty of support. We have
Oh, so many great tips we've had. So much good
yes,
stuff. Wonderful.
yeah, wonderful,
Uh,
great speakers, which some of them
wonderful
are coming
speakers.
back in May. I'm so excited to have some of them back in May. So Mark Hunter was one of my first speakers, one of the two of the first speakers, and he's coming back in May. Mika Adams is also coming back in May, and let's see.
Mark had all the acronyms, didn't he? He had acronyms.
No, that was
that's
Mark
not Mark.
Smith. That was
Oh,
Mark Smith.
that was
Mark
another.
Mark Hunter is my web developer and business strategy partner, and he talked actually about your client journey. He was on the very first podcast,
Okay.
and he talked about the client journey, but he has lots of stuff about building a websites that he's going to talk about, because that's something we
Oh,
haven't
very
talked
good.
about. Because, how do you do a landing page, or how do you do things like, how do you deal with plugins? He's like I call him my WordPress king affectionately, because he technically seems to know what he's doing, and he does, because he's been doing it for over 10 years. So, and he builds my website and helps others do the clients too. He's just phenomenal at what he does, and has a great Australian accent. You'll love him, Cheryl. So,
And there
um,
are certain things that you want to know, certain things that
yeah,
belong on a site, certain things that don't, how much, how
yeah.
little, what
And
goes where. It's
we
all
haven't decided on a topic yet, so I don't know if that's what he'll talk about, but he knows so much in there. Whatever he's going to share is going to be gold, and it's something that you can apply to your business and get, and if you ever have any questions, I'll make sure you'll be able to connect with him, because he is so phenomenal at what he does. So, and I promote him
terrific.
all the time, because he's just that good. If I like somebody and I think will be helpful with somebody, I'm going to connect you with them. It's just the way I am. That's why I'm the networking queen. So there you go. It's my network moment for the day. But also, we're going to have Regina Robinson back next month. She did the how to have confidence talk. Oh my gosh, back in November, and when we started doing the TV, she was the guest. She was one of the guests that did at the beginning when when they had the first TV version of the show. You might remember her back. I'm pretty sure.
I
Black
do.
lady. Yes,
I do. I do. Yes.
so
I'm
much
sorry. I had
fun.
to do a little note to Rebel.
No, no problem.
I'm like
No,
multitasking.
so much
Sorry.
fun. I'm just saying that I'm doing a little babbling because I want to tell people what's coming down the pike. Oh, and we have a great, great show for you next week too, so you don't want to miss. And I know I'm babbling,
At least if you know,
but it's because people
awareness is the first step
yeah, awareness is. It is.
to
Um,
what I don't know, but
well, I think we talked about offline that we should bring up some things that are coming down the pike and what to expect. So that sort of relates to what we're talking about. And it's all
yes, of course. Yeah.
so yeah. So I'm trying to remember something real quick, and forgive me, it's neat. I need my cheat sheet because I don't know about you. I'm getting older. I can't remember every single thing in this head that people tell me. I don't know about you. If I could probably make $1,000,000 by now, because I would be really a rich woman at that point. But, I'm trying to think of hold on a second, give me just a second, and I apologize for taking so long. We
I
may
would help, but I'm not sure what you're looking for.
I'm trying to figure out who next week's speaker is, and
Oh,
maybe give a sneak peek about what's to come. And if not, we can always do it after the break. I can't
yeah.
think of it off the top of my head, and I don't want to waste time. But
Yeah.
real quick, oh, here it is. Okay, so Marissa Ferreira is going to be talking about transforming conflict into connections. So that will be a cool topic for next week. So we're going to have that too. I just had to see it. So let's dive on it in. I babble enough
Okay.
and I apologize, but I did want to give some sneak peeks of some guests, and we have another surprise guest in May. So I won't reveal all my secrets, just so you know, but I wanted to
All
let
right.
people know the lineup for what's to come, because I did want to at least bring that up. So I don't know if I'm going to get into all my talk. So we'll do what we can. So
Okay.
you want to bring me up, Cheryl?
I do. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker tonight is Marie Mason. Marie owns Liberty Virtual Solutions, and she is a business coach. And at Liberty Virtual Solutions, they make your webinar look more appealing to your audience so that you can turn it into a money-making machine. Yeah. And she's the co-host of our show. The speaker after that is me, the
Yep.
co-host of your show. And today's topic is growing your business with videos. So Marie, and actually it's very interesting because Marie is going to be talking about video from a statistic, business building, numbers kind of aspect. And I'm going to be talking about the you being on camera aspect. So it's wonderful. The two together is going to be a great 1-2 punch.
Right.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, and I'm glad you put that together because, there's so many different perspectives on videos. You kind of need to see the different kinds of approaches, is what I was going to mention on that. But no, great point. So you had a question for me?
I do. So, we have several reasons why using videos and webinars is a great tactic to help you grow your business. And Marie teaches this to her clients. It's called the Video Blueprint. So, Marie, my first question to you is, how do videos help you reach a larger and more targeted audience to really help you focus in? How does that work?
Well, and let me ask you this. How many of you guys, and you can answer this too, Cheryl, and be my spokesperson for the audience. How are you spending a lot of time doing discovery calls to talk to your clients and upsell them to your offers? Are you doing a lot of that?
Am I doing a lot of time on discovery calls?
Correct. Are you taking a lot of time talking to people on the discovery calls?
Well, I do, but it's
Okay.
pretty targeted who I speak with.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've been in it for a while, so you know who you're talking. But when you're
Yes.
beginning, a lot of people waste a lot of time talking to the wrong clients. Wouldn't you agree at the beginning was a learning curve?
It could be, yes. That could
Especially if you're
be a
not 100%
problem.
clear? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of it, what it is first of all, I'd say, first of all, get really clear on your target audience. We've had this discussion before in one of our webinars, excuse me, podcasts. So I'm so used to saying webinars because of what I do. But anyway, what I've found is that webinars help you get to know people, to get to know you and your brand faster than doing discovery calls, faster than email campaigns, faster than social media, even though social media is pretty darn fast. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you can get to the one-to-many approach, and you want to be able to educate your audience and so that you can showcase your knowledge to them and also help them, give them information about your services. So what we can do is we help them with providing them a clear action step and make sure that they can apply that immediately. That's one of the pieces of our webinar process. And I wish I had a little more clarity on this. I actually am doing a webinar that talks about this webinar process. So it will be something really good I'll share at the end. But but this is just little short snippets, and I can't do it all at once.
Yeah.
But it's all, I mean, I'm only giving you short snippets, but webinars can also help you screen out the people who don't qualify to work with you. So it helps you sift through that things. Another technique I've found very helpful is getting on those virtual event networking calls. And that way you can also go to the one-to-many approach and pitch to people like within a minute or two. Sometimes you only have 30 seconds, but polish your pitch and make sure that you know who your target market is. So when you're going out there networking, you can follow up with those people. And I can walk away between 8 to 25 connections in an hour on just that. So, and the webinars are usually about an hour as well. So take your time, make it productive, and share that information to the one-to-many. Now, if you're using a platform like Zoom, and you have either the free or the pro rated one, it's usually about 100 people is your maximum. You can also do different levels on Zoom, and I have one that's now up to 500. So you decide what your limit is based on what your platform is that you're using. Like if you're using Zoom, they have the 100, 300, I think, and the 500 options. So you decide how many people you want to reach during that hour, and it's going to take time to grow it. Oh my gosh, I can't
I was
emphasize
gonna
it
say
enough.
500. That's
Yeah,
a pretty good amount of people showing up.
you're not going to
You know,
always
you
do
have to
that,
have 5,000 opt in for
right?
500 to show up.
Exactly. And it's all a numbers game. And you have to understand that if you have 100 people and you only send out 50 invitations, and only you have, maybe if you're lucky, 20 to 25 that register, of that you might be lucky and get 10 people to show up. And because here it is, it's a numbers game. It's a 1 out of 3. It's a ratio of 1 out
Yeah,
of
I heard it
3.
was 10%. Isn't
And
that
it could be
interesting?
10% too, it could be 20%. It just depends on what it is. And you have to think about this. It depends on the topic. It
Yeah.
depends on also, is that a hot topic that is, trending? Because you got to see what's trending. If it's not trending, you're not going to get as many people wanting to opt into your offers, even to the free webinar. Because let's face it, we're doing a lot of webinars and a lot of videos right now, but
Yeah.
because it is necessary to reach people. So you're going to have to beat above the noise, and that means you're going to have to be very attention grabbing when it comes to getting that audience that you want. And I'm going to be specific here. Don't just go to the one committee and see what sticks in the mud. Be really targeted on your approach. That's what I tell my speakers. It's okay if you don't get 100 the first few tries, because your focus is not just everybody going to attend your webinar. You want the people that are specifically wanting your type of service. So if you have a clear avatar of personality type, a person who you want to work with, a business person you want to work with, whether it's a business or whatever it is that you're trying to focus on, whoever that client avatar is, whatever you have that picture in mind, then make sure you focus on targeting them specifically rather than just throwing mud up at the wall. It's great to fill up the spaces, but I'll be honest, the ones that don't show up may not be the ones you should have signed up in the first place. Does that make sense? So make sure you guys focus on that target market. So do you have any other questions?
I do. And talking about video, and by the way, I want to mention that video is not just you like recording a video. Video is being on Zoom. Video is appearing in somebody else's group. Video is being on an interview, so that people don't think we're just talking about recording a video and posting it somewhere. It's all kinds of anytime you're in front of a camera.
Right.
So this question for you, Marie, how does video drive traffic to your website or your landing page? How does that work?
That's a good point. Well, there are two major factors that Google search engines look for. The first is increasing your traffic to your website, and the second is the click-through rate. And the fact is that hosting videos on your website or landing pages increases the client's attention rate by 80%. So hosting videos on your website will improve your Google search engines. Okay, so that's the why. Okay, I should have put the why down there, but the how-to is simple as this. You're going to sit there, and when you're doing your webinar presentation, make sure you have a landing page link or a website link that may have your landing page information or whatever it is that you're using for that, and make sure you share that into your chat area, or state it verbally as well. So as a combination, because you're going to want you want to drive the traffic to those places because you want them to collect on your offer. But if you're not sharing your landing page or webinar link, how are they going to know how to follow up with you? How are they going to be able to connect with you? How are they going to be able to land on your offers if you don't give it to them? That's like one of the number one mistakes when people say, nobody's registering on my offers. This is, well, are you sharing the link? No. Okay, well, that's step number one. Share the link. So hopefully that answered that question. So
yes, beautiful. So it's a call to action on wherever you're appearing, a call to action, and hopefully you have a link that's either easy to say, easy to remember, or easy to click.
And there's always Bitly if you need a shorter one. I'm just saying. So anyway.
Okay. So how do in the videos, how do visuals and words help you retain your clients' attention?
Okay, good question. So make sure that you list the written words and keep them short and easy to read and related to the topic, because people are visual, right? But if you have too many words, it's not gonna keep their attention. I mean, let's face it. We're
Are you
visual
talking
creatures.
about on slides for a
Yes,
webinar?
if you're doing slides for a webinar, because we are talking about webinars, and we're talking about doing a visual aspect of it.
Oh, okay.
You're not doing it all the talking in front of the camera. You're doing a visual as well. So, and a lot of people do use slides because it helps them illustrate points, right, that they're trying to make. And that's really what slides are for. So if you're going to do slides, then what you need to make sure is you need to do like short bullet points, words that are maybe just a few words or even 1 or 2 words if you can help it. And then keep them short, keep them simple. And then if you have a chance to underneath them, under the notes section of each of the slides, you could get all your wordy stuff down there where not everybody can see it. But on the visual part, you need to make sure that they're clear and simple and sweet and to the point, because you want it also related to the topic. Oh my gosh, I've had seen that people be random, and it's okay to have it, and it has its place, but you don't want to be off topic too much when you're giving a presentation, or you will lose people, if that makes sense. You also want to make sure that you have bullet points on the topics as well. So make sure that they're like short little phrases, so it can help you to keep track of where you're going on the topic. And then choosing the graphic designs and are important too, because we are visual people, like I said, and make sure they're relevant to your topic and appealing to your audience. So make sure it's a relatable. You don't want something like, for example, if you're talking about dogs, you don't want a picture of your cat or your horse if you have a pet cat or horse on there, because unless it's talking about maybe your family and your house. But then when you get into the slides for your actual presentation, then the content has to be related to the pictures. Otherwise, it's just going to be a distraction to your audience. You will lose them in the process. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. Simple, easy. And don't just, I want to toss this in, don't make your slides just a complete replication of what you're saying. Nobody wants to read that much.
And that's why I said keep them short and bullet points and like
Yes.
a few keywords and that, just so that they keep track of it. It's like, like having a presentation. You just want to have a key points, just keep it clear and keep it simple. Yeah, agreed. Next question.
Yes, ma'am. So, and when we say video, we're saying webinar as well, right? When we say
Correct.
video, we're saying webinar. So I'm going to say, how do webinars keep clients more engaged and increase the conversion rates to your offers?
Okay, that's a great question too, and we might be going late to a commercial break, and I apologize. But when you have a PowerPoint presentation, that includes, I think, making sure I have that correct. That includes, like I said, I think that's related to. So let me go skip over that. So that's a very good question.
This is about graphic design and PowerPoint.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The graphic design should be, like I said, related to your topic, and try to keep your pictures like to 1 to 4 pictures, because when you're ever having to go and print off your PowerPoint presentation, then one of the things that I've noticed is that if you have more than one, or if you have like a video clip on it, it looks jumbled. If you're doing like going from a 2D to a 3D. So let's say you're going to fade one picture and then the other and then the other. That's great for the presentation. You almost might as well just do a separate slide or do a couple of them on the same slide, because one of the things, if you do 4 or more, it gets really, really cluttered on there, and they look like if you're doing a 2D version and you're just seeing it, it looks jumbled. So it's much, much better if you would space them out and maybe do more than one slide to make sure that you have that fading a little bit, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most, 4 at the tops. And that way you don't have as much clutter on the slides, because it just gets too visually hard to follow, if that makes sense. Pay attention to colors. Make sure they match your brand and don't clash with each other. I don't know. Do you have any ideas of colors that might clash that could give examples, Cheryl? I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, color is so, it depends on the person's colors. I like to keep colors of slides within the colors of my branding. And when I do slides for my clients, I keep the colors that they are already presenting. There's a color tone, there's a feel. I have a client that it's all soft and pinks and very, very muted. I'm not going to do these wild, crazy neon colors for her. And it's just I mean, there are certain colors that just go together.
Right.
And that's an art thing. And there's an art wheel that can help you. Opposites are all often good together. It's not something you can just say, this goes with that. It's something that has to be seen and
test it out.
Some people are good at this design, and if you're not, there are templates that you can follow. I know in Canva, I know PowerPoint has them that will already have color in it, so you don't even have to pick. I always change them anyway. If I use a template, I'm always changing everything.
Me too. I'm the same way. So that's cool. And also, yeah, and that makes a good point. Make sure it matches the person that you're working with. Font sizes matter to your audience because you want to be able to read it. And some fonts are harder to read.
Yeah.
So make sure it's clear and make sure that it's bold. Sometimes the bold is good because it helps highlight it. Also, keep it consistent, like I said, to your brand also, because whatever's on your website, your font is that's on your website, you might want to also put that in your presentation as well. So it can, anything that you do with it, whether it's social media, emails, etc., because it keeps your brand recognizable. Make sure your visuals matter. Make sure you know that your visuals matter because you know they have to be able to relate to your audience. They have to be able to relate to your topic. So those are all key points. So I think we got one more point, and then we're going to start wrapping up this section pretty soon.
Okay. Well, let's talk about evergreen webinars. What are they? How can they help?
Okay, so webinar videos or
evergreen. Evergreen.
I'm having one of those I cannot talk moments today, which is bad when you're doing a podcast or a radio show. But anyway, that's all, folks, right? Anyway, but evergreen videos or evergreen webinars are just similar. They're just one's a webinar, but it's just a video version of everything. So, but the key thing is evergreen videos are great because you can repurpose that into doing a landing page to help you sell your products and services, and you don't have to be visible all the time to do it. It does the selling for you. So that's what an evergreen webinars are pretty much like on-demand videos where you can just hit play each time, and it just really works well for people who don't want to have to constantly do the live webinars. So my suggestion is to practice first with a few live webinars so that you know that the content will attract your ideal client. And then, because that way you can kind of gauge, you can get better. It's always you get better with practice, right? So then you also collect the feedback from your audience too after the webinar, so you can make changes to it if you need to. Once you have grown your audience to at least 50 plus people and you have at least a 20% conversion rate, which means that at least 10 are opting out into your offers, that's a great time to consider doing an evergreen webinar at that point, or higher. If you want to do higher, you'd reach that higher number, that's fine. Because once you realize you have more of a demand of their product and services, it also get feedback from the audience about what kind of things they are looking for in as far as what would help them get to the next level too. Find some of that, so get those webinars or live webinars are great for getting some input in, like doing polls and stuff like that, or even if you just ask them a couple of questions and have them put them in the chat or something. It's always good to ask those kinds of feedback questions. And then the next thing is define what I guess I should have started with this one, but I have a specific definition for what evergreen webinars do. They help you share interesting topics to a larger audience, and it automates your selling process so that you just have to record the webinar once. That would save you so much time in the sales process. And then videos, especially like webinars, act like a filter. So they do all the heavy lifting for you. So you can just sit there and weed out the people that aren't a good fit to work with. So that's pretty much it in the nutshell. So
wonderful. And should we come back after the break and talk about your offer?
Yes, and then I would like to introduce you to an audience. So you want to take us to the commercial break?
I would love to. I want to thank you, Marie Mason, for sharing valuable tips to help our audience with growing their business with videos and webinars so they can grow themselves and their business here on the Marketing Mindset Mastery Radio Show. Marie is going to come back after the break and tell us about a wonderful offer. And then I'm going to talk to you about the human portion of doing videos. And that ends this segment of our show. You're listening to the Marketing Mindset Mastery Radio Show with your host, Marie Mason, and your co-host, Cheryl Bernstein. And we will be right back. We are going to a commercial break now.
We're taking a short break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Marketing Mindset Mastery, the show that brings you the top speakers in the marketing and video industry, with your host, Marie Mason. The show is brought to you by Liberty Virtual Solutions. We work with business coaches and speakers to help them market and host their webinars and upsell their coaching programs and develop heart-centered relationships with their audience. Welcome back to the Marketing Mindset Mastery Show with your host, Marie Mason, a premier podcast that helps you master your marketing skills.
Oh, I just love that beat. Okay, it gets me motivated. So anyway, so I loved how we got that going, but we're going to do the introduction. And do you want to do the introduction real fast?
Welcome back to the Marketing Mindset Mastery Radio Show with your host and speakers, Marie Mason and me, Cheryl Bernstein. Marie owns Liberty Virtual Solutions, and she's a business coach. And I am the creative muse and visibility coach. And I help you create videos, freebies, and emails to help you stay connected in all ways with your potential and present clients and future clients. So we're going to talk more about how videos help you grow your business.
So take it away. So Cheryl, shall I finish up what I was going to say before, and then we'll have you jump into your section?
Well, I think we should. Marie has an offer for you, a wonderful thing coming up. And what is that, Marie?
Okay, so basically what I have is a webinar that's coming up, like I mentioned earlier. It is a one-hour webinar. It's 5 steps to fill your webinar with your ideal audience, because a lot of people I've learned need help with attracting their ideal audience to their webinars. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be on April 27th from 4 to 5 p.m. East Coast time. Real quick, you're going to learn how to create a teaser video. You're going to learn effective story-based email campaigns. You're going to also get to learn how to write copy for reminder messages, and also clear copy for your landing pages, as well as a quick way to promote your webinars through various different sources. So those are really quick tips, plus lots giving away some prizes too. So lots of fun stuff. But yes, always fun when you get some prizes. I think I got like 4 prizes really planned, so I'm not going to give them all here. But anyway, so it's really going to be easy to go and register over at https://bit.ly/3DXOS8M. So again, that's https://bit.ly/3DXOS as in Sam, and then 8M. And Cheryl has some really good tips for you guys. So I'm going to ask you, and hopefully I have my notes here correctly, there's several things that you believe that are in your background, and I want to ask you a little bit about your background, and then we're going to go into those 3 major points you wanted to share. So could you share a short, brief information?
Well, I'd love to. I don't know if the audience knows, my background is in show business. I live here in Hollywood, California, and I have been performing since I was in 2nd grade when I got sent on tour to do Little Rabbit Fum Fum to the rest of the third grades. And I've done so many things in the performing, producing, directing arena. So I see the performance from all different angles. I've done stand-up comedy, TV, film, live on stage plays. I had a radio show here in LA. I was a co-host of a big, beautiful morning radio show, and done cartoons and voiceovers, and also directed for cartoons and voiceovers. And I've written and produced many, many different things. So I have that
Showbiz is your life.
Well, that way of looking at things, I can see it. I understand what it is to be a performer and be in front of the camera, and I have an eye for what works looking at somebody or looking at somebody's video or presentation. And every time you're on camera on something like this is an opportunity for an entrepreneur to let people know about them and let the picture that shows add to who they are, what they're about, what their style is, what their essence is. I think it all goes together. And I don't mean that you have to build yourself a fancy set, but I think that what is around you should beautifully reflect and beautifully be a complement to who you are and what your feel is. Because there's a coach for everybody, and not every coach is for everybody. Different styles appeal to different people. So I say be true to who you are. And what I want to talk about today is light. Light is so important when it comes to video. Video is light. You know, when you used to go to the movies, when they had, now it's all digital, but when it was projector, you could see the movie coming right out of that projector and onto the screen. It was a stream of light. And I believe there are 3 very important pieces of light that you should think about. One is the one everybody knows about. Well, I think you should know about it. And that is the light that is coming towards you. When you're doing video, you want to be very certain that your lighting is coming at you. Mine is a little bit above me and coming down at an angle. You want people to be able to see your eyes. You want to be lit up. You want your face to show. You want your energy to show. And so you want to make sure that the lighting is coming towards you. Here's the rule. Wherever the lighting is coming from, the shadow is going to be on the opposite side. So if light is coming from here, you're going to have a shadow here. Light coming from here, you're going to have a shadow here. One of the worst lightings ever is only overhead light. You're going to have lines all down your face, not very attractive. And of course, you don't want a light coming from the bottom. You're going to look, like when you hold a flashlight, to be scary. Also, light from
unless you're doing Halloween.
Right. Halloween, do that. But
normally not.
Light coming from behind you is very tricky. You're going to look like a big shadow, a big blob. Unless you have a light balancing the light coming towards you. I have a little light right back there. You can probably see a little pink light.
It is. It's very pretty.
Just washing the wall, just a very tiny bit. But you don't want light coming from behind you. Like, don't sit in front of a big bright window. If you're outside videoing, and my videoing that I'm talking about is all kinds of video. If you're outside videoing, be very careful if the sun is behind you. It's going to put you in a big shadow. Also, you want to be careful. And the real harsh, direct sunlight's going to make you squint. You want to always be aware that you are looking good. And you can be you. So that's the one light, the light coming at you.
So let me ask you this. What do you think about the lighting? Let's just do mine for an example. What does my lighting look like to you right now? Because I just repositioned the light before we started the show. So.
Well, you are in a shadow. That light from the window is what we see. It's very bright light from the window. If you cannot be in front of that window, I would say that is a better option.
Or block it behind it, maybe?
Or block it with darker curtains, or put something under the curtain. So, at night, that's going to look fine. That no light's going to come through there. But right now, that is pulling the focus. And we are seeing that bright light behind you. And so you're hard to see. Yeah. You're hard to see.
I was just wondering because when you talk about it, some people need to understand the visuals behind it. So that's why I was trying to give that as an example. So that's good to know. So what is the other two pieces for light?
The other two lights, so the light coming at you is one. The other second light is the light coming from you. There is a light that you project when you speak, when you appear, and it's a light that is the essence of what you're speaking about. You'll notice people that are very passionate about what they're talking about and very full of life and excited. There's an eminence coming from them.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think can be picked up right through a computer. You can feel somebody's energy, and that's the light coming from you. And it's kind of there's a trick I learned in voiceover that you want to keep your energy like right here. You want to keep it right here. You're not spreading it out all over the room. You want to focus it so it goes right to that one person. You are talking to one person. Usually there's only one person sitting at a computer watching you. Sometimes it's fun to make it feel like there's a whole bunch, like I'm sure if you've seen big coaches these days have, banks and banks of computers with all the people on Zoom in front of them. Then they are talking to a lot of people. But usually if you're doing a video, you're talking to one person. So you want to make that very intimate, I think. And then the third light is the light that you always hold within you. That is your why, your reason for what you do, for how you help, for how you live. It's your why, and it's like an ember that you always hold within you that drives you forward in everything. So there's the light coming at you, the light coming from you, and the light you hold within. Those three lights, I think, are very important to keep in mind. And know.
Sorry.
And know that they are possible for you to emit. And the light coming at you actually is reflecting off of you. The light is reflecting off of you. So it's all light really coming from you in a way.
Cool. We might have time for one, maybe two, if we could keep them brief. But how do you get over the nervousness? Because I noticed when I first started, I got so nervous my nose would run. So are there some tips on how to help us, somebody who's just starting to get over videos, getting into video jitters? So that's important.
Yes. And I know a lot of people are nervous. A lot of people are afraid to do video. And I understand it. It is a new thing if you've never done it before. It takes a little bit of doing till you are comfortable with this on-camera you of like what it feels like to be here talking to usually nobody, talking to that little lens and not looking at people. You want to look in the lens. But my biggest tip for getting over nervousness, when I see I'm not, my mouth is not coordinate with my movement.
You'll overlook that. Because remember, in the audio, they're not going to hear that, see that, only on the YouTube channels and
okay.
Facebook.
So the one biggest way to get over nervousness is to practice. Just keep doing videos. Do them to yourself. I would say if you're just starting out and you don't know what you're doing yet, do them to yourself. Practice on your, just do videos and don't show them to anybody yet. Just practice and watch yourself back. Knowing how you are appearing and then looking at it with a director's eye, not a critic eye. Director's eye is looking at, well, I think I want to change that, or, oh, I don't like the way that looks in the background, or, gee, I make a funny face when I speak, whatever it is. Look at it as a director and not a critic saying, oh, I hate this about me. I hate that about me. It takes getting used to who you are on camera and also how it feels to be doing it. So that's my biggest tip, to practice. The second tip is to change what you say about how you're feeling. Instead of saying, oh, I'm so nervous, try, I'm so excited. Because excited and nervous are kind of the same thing.
They relate to each other, definitely. They're connected.
but it changes how you feel about it, how you feel about going forward. So change that from I'm so nervous to I'm so excited. And the third one is to what I call be a leader. And I mean, be a leader of yourself. A lot of times we get into worried about what others might say. What do they want? Is this good? And when I say be a leader, if you're doing everything, well, this is tricky because we do have to use verbiage that your ideal client is going to respond to. But if you're doing everything based on what other people are thinking or what other people like, you're being a follower, not a leader. It's so important to be your own leader of you. And what do you want to do? It took me a while to come to that because I was trying to follow what other people were teaching, which is great to begin. You want to learn the how before you innovate. But really following your own heart and your own intuition can take you very, very far. And there was one more thing that I
more practice, or know the
know
hows,
the hows, knowing the hows and the whys of, especially if you're doing a Facebook Live, you want to learn how to do it. There are some things you have to do and set up and some ways to end it. So knowing all of that is going to make you feel more secure. Knowing all the hows and whys of doing video, which comes with practice, is going to make you feel more secure too. It's when you dive in and you know nothing. It's it's like you're trying to drive a car before you learn. So you want to practice, be your own leader, know the hows and whys, and change how you say what you're doing.
Sort of like a positive affirmation, because
positive, yeah.
I'm so excited. So I 'cause I had to say it, but no, that is fantastic. Thank you. And you had something else, and I don't know if we have time for it, but what were the 3 tips that if you could say them real quick, what are the 3 tips that will help someone get better in doing video right now? What kind of action steps can they take right now?
Well, it's all about the connections and not the connections of like my uncle knows the president of that. It's the connection of you to yourself, the connection of you to your viewer, the person watching, the connection of you to your work, the connection of you to your why. And what was the other? I think there was one more connection. Let me see what I had said. I wrote this and I forgot.
Yeah, their
And
connection
the
of will they
connection,
help.
the connection that will help, the connection of you to your offer, knowing where you want your client to end up. Is it a program? Is it a call with you? I mean, what is the thing that you're eventually wanting them to do? You want to have a program in mind. And it's the connection of your client, your person, your viewer being able to stay connected with you, which is the call to action that you talked about, whether it's a link to get your freebie, a link to have a call with you, a link to something so they can stay connected. Because if you just spent a certain amount of time, let's say on a webinar, like you said, or a video or anything, you've spent time and somebody gets to like you, you want to be able to let it be easy for them to take another step with you.
Perfect. And speaking of which, you have something for us to take away, as well. What is it that you wanted to share? A
Well, I
freebie, or
have my freebie called 10 Things to Know Before You Video. It's nuts and bolts, things that I know to be aware of and be prepared for, which if you're just doing video, or even if you've been doing video, these are things that are going to help you look better, be more professional, save time. It's 10 things to know before your video to save time, help you shine, and look like a pro. And it's going on the ticker right below us. It's CherylBernstein.com/video star. CherylBernstein.com/video star. One word. And it's a PDF and all those 10 tips. And then there'll be 10 short, fun videos that go with each one of those tips to help you go even further and help you. My goal is for you to get on and do videos. Try them out.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for helping us. And next time we'll have to have you do more stuff about videos and stuff like that for our audience. But we actually have to wrap this up because we are well over the time, and I apologize. So I just went a little long-winded today, and that was my fault. So anyway, but I just hope everyone got some really good, valuable tips to really help them do videos and go over and webinars, especially as well. So really quick, I want to thank Cheryl for helping me today and with the growing your business with videos so our audience can grow themselves and their business here on the Marketing Mindset Mastery Radio Show. And basically, we are going to have to literally see you all next week. And before you go, make sure you grab the offers. I won't repeat them now. We just finished wrapping up. But definitely take advantage of all the offers. Make sure you go to w4cy.com radio station page. I will be updating them soon. And you'll be glad you took advantage of all the gifts that all of our speakers have provided for us. So basically, we're going to have another guest speaker on our show next week, and I already gave some sneak peeks of some of the ones coming in May. So make sure you keep listening to us and hit the notification button and subscribe button so you don't miss our next episode. Join us for some great tips and ideas on how to make your marketing and mindset work for you. So make sure you join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern right here at W4C.com radio. Until next time, this is Marie Mason and my co-host Cheryl Bernstein saying bye for now for Marketing Mindset Mastery. That ends this week's show. See you next week.
Go to our radio page and check out the gifts from our speakers. We'll see you next time on Marketing Mindset Mastery with your host, Marie Mason.